downloading like big time to me. This is the next video. So I am on the same thing, but that's because all of these, like, God is just downloading to me. Like, as I'm driving, like, really downloading me. It's really, here we go. And it's a couple of things that he's downloaded, so we just going to see what comes out, and we're going to go with whatever he's telling me to do, whatever he's telling me to talk about. What is our next topic, y'all? Fasting. A lot of us are fasting right now. I actually am, and normally your face needs to be clean, so you don't tell people when you're fasting. But everybody's doing it right now, and God is telling me to talk about it. I'm fasting, and normally I don't tell people, so I know that this is God, like, literally telling me to talk about it. But I do go to 28:19, so this is the disclaimer with that as well. God wants me to say this too, because I wasn't going to this time. But the church home that I am currently in is 2819 Church. I am a virtual disciple. Philip Mitchell is my pastor, and when I say that is the church that I attend, that is the church that I attend. I do everything from that
Car
church.
On shoulder ahead.
I do visit another virtual church, which is Mike Jr. I visit his church, Rock City Church, also, but I am a member of 2819 at this current time. That's where my tithes go, that's where my offerings go, and wherever else God tell me to pour out seeds, I pour out seeds those places. But when I say that I have it just taken out of my account automatically every week to 2819, that's the way that I'm set up, that's the way God has me set up, and that's the way it needs to be, because your girl would be all over the place and be like, oh, I forgot to. So that's how I'll do that. Now let's get on fasting. Am I going to talk about fasting? I think I need to talk about paying tithes and offering. Look, I'm telling y'all, God is just really doing his thing with me right now. He's giving me a lot of stuff to talk about. When it comes to paying tithes and offering, how it's set up for me is I pay a certain percentage of my earnings to my church. God sets everybody up differently. This is what we need to know. It's not always about giving to the church. When you give to the community, when you do all of those things, that's also paying your tithes, giving offering. That's it's about your relationship with God and just hearing him and seeing what he's telling you to do. For me, it's definitely, I have to pour into 2819. God has told me that. Like, he's had me pour into other churches when I wasn't even going to that church. Like, just, this is where you're going to be. And I was just obedient and I did it. So, and that's what I'm saying. So that's why I say relationship is so important. Tithes can also, not tithes, offering can also be if God tells you to give food to somebody, like go and buy groceries for someone, or send someone money for groceries, pay a bill for someone, give someone a ride without asking them for any gas money. Like, all of those things, giving. So that's why I say you literally have to sit with God and see how he has you conditioned. Sometimes it can be something that we would normally charge somebody for. We're giving them the services for free. Like, so you have to sit with God. It's not all about God understands that not everybody has money. Everybody doesn't have money. So it's other ways that we can do this. It's other ways that you have to sit with God so you can get a clear understanding on what he wants you to do. I ain't never talked about this before, so I definitely know that this is God. And I feel him. I feel his presence with this. Like, it's really strong. He really wants people to understand. Because a lot of people is struggling financially, and they're going to these church homes, and the pastors is on them about how much they're supposed to give, and God is not going to bless them if they don't give, and they're giving their rent money. and they're ending up homeless. And God wants you guys to know, like, that's a non-negotiable in his eyes, and that is not of him. That is not of him. Do he want us to make sacrifices? Yes, he does, but he wants us to sit with him. Go to him for clarification, because a lot of these pastors and bishops and stuff, they're telling you that you need to give your absolute last, and it's putting you in an uncompromising position that God did not want you to be in. And this is completely God. And people can come in the comments and say whatever it is they feel like they want to say, but I am a woman of God, and I am going to speak what he tells me to speak. So when these bishops and these pastors are telling you what you need to give your last, and if it's your rent, God is saying everybody need to pay their rent and bring their rent up into the offering and all up into the to pay that in offering, like, no, and bring it to the altar and all that. No, take that message to God. Take it to God. God is not going to you are not being disobedient to God if you say, well, let me get clarification from him, because a lot of us is worshiping these bishops and these pastors and these ministers and these reverends and all of the, and we can't do that. Like, we can't worship them, we can't idolize them. It's about the relationship with God. Like, yes, he will use them to teach us things, but still God comes before. God comes before. That's where that relationship is so important. Like, sit with God before you just, like, when they be saying all that about all your rent. Like, okay, this month, instead of paying your rent, you gonna pay it into the church and all that stuff. God is saying he wants everybody to pay. All your light bill money needs to come into the church. Like, y'all take that to God, because that's not of God. That's not of God. And I know some people may feel differently, and that's fine. I'm not going to go back and forth with you about it. I'm not doing any of that. I know what God says. I know what he tells me. And I know I have been blessed and all my bills have been paid. I ain't not paid a bill because the church don't told me to give all my money. Now, have I been at a church where they say we need to do X, Y, Z? And sometimes I have done it, and some other times God has told me no. No, that is not me. So you have to have a relationship with God so you know what he's telling you to do. And have a relationship with God. That's what it's about. I told y'all how I'm set up
Police
to do
reported
it.
ahead.
And the thing about it, I have never stepped foot in 2819 church. Not a one day. I am a virtual disciple. I am in Texas. They're in Atlanta. But I make sure I do what God tells me to do when it comes to where I'm supposed to plant my seeds in. And it has been occasions where God has told me to plant seeds other places, like I have said, and I have definitely been obedient. But as far as it's reoccurring, just here you go, here you go, here you go, it's 2819. And I'm faithful to that until God tells me to shift it. The only alterations that I will make when it comes to it is if God tells me to give more or less. Allow God to be the navigation of your life. He will not steer you wrong. I love you, but most importantly, he does, and it ain't nothing that you can do about it. Now let's see if the next message is going to be fasting, y'all, because that's what I thought it was going to be. But that's it. Love y'all.